I wanted to talk about periods today. Everybody's favorite subject! So, anyways, mostly talking to other females because they have to deal with this. Particularly the young ones, because I want to give some advice. And I want to talk about my first period because it was a scary time. So, the first time I ever had my period was on Thanksgiving, which is great. It was Thanksgiving, and I didn't know what to do, and I was really mad that I had to grow up. So I didn't tell anybody. I just used toilet paper, and I didn't tell anybody about it, and I didn't tell anybody, because I didn't know what to do. So I just sat there and was really unhappy all day. And then I think my mom and I were watching something, and somehow she found out. I don't remember. I must have told her or something, but I just, how old was I? I was going into 6th grade, so that's, I don't know, what, 10, 11, something? I don't know. But, I remember just being really mad because I was forced to grow up, and that was the thing I really didn't want to do. And I was just mad about it. And also, in 5th grade, when we had a big talk about periods, they did a little sex ed class, not really, but about periods, whatever, and puberty and stuff. I was under the impression that you could only choose one thing. First of all, they only taught us about tampons and pads, which are totally not the only options. There's totally, there are plenty more options if those don't work for you, which I'll get to later. But I was under the impression that if you chose one, you had to choose one for the rest of your life. Which was why I was so scared when I had my first period, because I didn't know how to make that kind of decision. Because with pads, with tampons, you could swim. But you also could get toxic shock syndrome, which I still don't entirely know what that is. All I know is if you're wearing a pad or tampon and you throw up, then something could be bad. And it's very bad. But basically, I thought you had to choose one for the rest of your life. And I didn't know how to make that kind of decision. Which is ridiculous, because you can mix them up. So, I don't know, I blame the teachers, a little bit, for giving me that impression, but, that's what happened. I know, what else was I going to talk about? Oh, so, options, I don't remember all the options, but I know, I've used, so there's the ones that everybody knows about. There's pads and there's tampons, right? If you're in a pinch, you can use toilet paper. Done that before. Damn it, I forgot about it today. Damn it. And plus, it's not like it is in the movies. In the movies, they're always like, oh my god, I'm a day late, I must be pregnant, I'm dying, and it's just I could be 5 days early, or I could be 5 days late, and it would essentially be the same thing, because my body's just, it doesn't really care. So it's not like it happens every single month the same. Unless you're taking birth control. I think it's a little bit easier to tell when you're gonna have it, but not really. I mean, I've been on it for like a year now, and I still don't really know. I mean, it's like, well, I'm taking the sugar ones now, and so I should be getting there, but I'm... but anyways, and so, what am I saying? Oh my god. Oh, right. So other things. So what I've used is I've used a Diva cup, which I would show you, but I can't because I have no idea where I put it because moving around. But anyways, woo, my hair is so poofy. But then it just goes right back. Just watch that. Anyways, on the subject again. This is what I look like with a ponytail, kind of. Not really that cute. So I don't like me with a ponytail. Anyway, whoa. Oh god, what am I saying? What are these words that are coming out of my mouth? Oh, right. So Diva Cup. It's essentially, it essentially works like a tampon. You put it up there. It's a little bit more complicated because you gotta fold it, get it up there in the right place, make sure it's suctioned right, which can be kind of annoying sometimes. But the nice thing about it is you don't have to bring extra tampons, which is great if you're like traveling or something. That's awesome. And you also, what else? You don't have to buy tampons if you're only using that, you know. I mean, I still buy them because I like to mix it up. Like some days I'll be like, nah, it sounds like too much work. But then other days I'll be like, I don't feel like bringing tampons around. Oh, another thing that's really great about it is that with tampons you have to take them out every 4 to 6 hours. But with the Diva Cup you wait till it gets filled up, essentially. And you kind of know, like, you don't entirely know, like, half the time, you, like, take it out and you're like, well, I was dumb, but other times, you know, you're like, wow, I feel kind of weird and periody, and then you take it out and you're like, oh, that's why. So, there's that. The problem is that, you have to, like, it's kind of hard to get it in sometimes. Sometimes it still kind of leaks because the suction doesn't quite work. Weirds people out sometimes. Like, I'll be like, oh, I use a Diva cup, and they're like, what the hell are you? And I'll be like, look, it's this thing, and they're like, ugh. Especially boys. I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them will be like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm just living, man. But they do save on a lot of money. They're about $20, and you buy them online. That's where I bought them, because I couldn't find them. They're about $20, and you buy them about once a year. You need to replace them once a year because, you know, bacteria. But you pretty much know when to replace them, because, I mean, the brand that I get, it's, like, clear, so it gets yellow, which is gross, but, it does, and then when it's really yellow, you need to change it. But a nice thing, it's only $20 once a year, whereas I don't know how many boxes of tampons I usually buy, but like if you have it be, let's say you use 1 box of tampons per period. It's probably a lot, but maybe you got a couple people using it, whatever. But just say you're using 1 box of tampons per period, and you're having 1 period a month, and that is 12 months. See, my brain is exhausted today. That's 12 months. So you have to buy 12 boxes, which is, I don't know, how much are the boxes? I usually have my parental units buy them. I don't know, a box could range from like $4 to like $10 probably. So if you're going with $10 and you're buying that once a month for 12 months, that is $120. Whereas you could spend $20 and not even have to buy them. So, that's pretty cool. There are also other things you could use, like reusable pads. I know someone who's used those. I think there's a sponge. And I know Lacey Green has a video about this. But there are a whole bunch of options out there. And they're making more as we speak, I'm sure. And, so if you're, a young girl, and, everybody talks about this horrible period of impending doom, it's not really that bad. You have a lot of options. Just remember, you don't only have to choose one. You can choose whatever you feel like doing that day. And you can choose various sizes for tampons specifically. You want to choose the smallest size as possible because that reduces the chance of getting, toxic shock syndrome, which I don't entirely know what that is. But it's bad. It's really bad, and I know you get it from tampons. So there's that. Also, it's really not that bad. Like, after the first couple times when I got used to it, like, I didn't even care. I actually kind of look forward to it because, this is gross, but it's like, I don't know, it's kind of cool. Got all this blood coming out of you, and you're, like, not dying. I just always thought it was cool, and it was interesting, and, like, the only thing about the Diva Cup is it's a lot more, like, you have to wash it out, you gotta pour the blood out, which, if you're grossed out by blood, which is weird, because if I, like, cut my finger, I'm, like, grossed out by blood, but not when it's coming out of my vajayjay. I don't know. I don't get that. But, so, essentially, oh my god. You can use anything you want, and, I don't know what I was just saying. I don't know. For the longest time, I actually looked forward to periods, and now that I'm on birth control, I barely even have one. Like, it's there, but it's, like, sort of a wispy afterthought. There are some individual cases where periods are really, really horrible. Like, I know a couple people that, like, when they get their periods, it's, like, 2 weeks long. They're, like, bedridden, like, nauseous the whole time. And they're just, like, it's absolutely horrid. But there are things you can do for that. And those are very, very unlikely cases. Like, I only know 2 people that have symptoms like that. And if you do have symptoms like that, talk to your doctor about it. Because that is not how a normal period should be. And, I'm sure your doctor will either know it could be ovarian cysts, which sounds really scary, but it's not as bad as you think. That's why a lot of people take birth control, because it makes them small. Yeah, makes them smaller. That's what happens. And, you just take birth control and you're okay. Like, it's not cancer. Like, you're gonna be fine. If you don't do anything about it, it could possibly get worse. But, just talk to your doctor about it. Like, if you're uncomfortable, make sure you have a female doctor, and whatever. They probably see, like hundreds of patients, so they probably, like, don't even care. So, you know, it's totally fine. But anyways, you really should not dread it that much. I mean, no, it's not the most fun thing ever, but surprisingly, it doesn't seem like it, but exercise actually does really help. Like, when I was on swim team, I'd be having, like, horrible cramps, which don't happen to me very often, but when they would happen, then I'd be pretty upset about it. I mean, not really upset, but just like, of course, it had to be today. And, like, of course, I had horrible cramps on the day of, like, a meet or something. And it was, like, one of my first meets. But, you know, I didn't want to go talk to my coach about it because he's, like, an old guy. And, I mean, he probably would have been cool about it, but I'm just like, nah, I don't want to do it. So, I just, like, got in the water. Now, getting in the water, swimming, is a great thing to do when you're on your period because, like, for some reason, being in water just makes things not do it. Like, lots of times, like, especially since, like, birth control has made my period so light, I can literally just fall asleep without wearing anything, and then as long as I just, like, put something in when I wake up, it's fine. Like, essentially just gravity. Whoa. There's a fly. There's a fly. I heard it by my ear. But try exercising. It doesn't feel like it's going to help, but it really, really will. And if it doesn't, then I am sorry. But it probably will. Those have been my experiences. But anyway, you know, I mean, and not to say that, you know, I mean, I don't know what I'm saying. Not to say that periods are the most fun experience, but, you know, every person with, the female anatomy / a vagina, I said vagina, whoa! Everybody with those parts has to deal with it, and obviously we're still getting around, and we're still doing our daily life, and we're fine. So, it's really nothing you should worry about if you're a young girly. However, if you are not a young girly, you know, I think one thing that is, really important is, PMS. I don't believe it to be a thing. I mean, there's no scientific evidence proving that it's not a thing, but there's no scientific evidence proving that it really is a thing either. So, who knows? But I don't believe it to be a thing. I believe that if a woman is, or a person with female parts, is angry on their period, it's probably because they're uncomfortable, not because their hormones are making them go insane. And it's not even... Let's fly again. I will rake you. I don't even know what that means, but get away. I think it was... I don't know. What am I saying? Oh my god. What was I just saying? Oh my god, this is getting long. I don't believe PMS is a thing. And I don't believe it makes people go crazy. And I don't believe that you're going nuts on your period. I think that you're just hanging out and, like, the worst thing, if you're a dude, the worst thing you could ever possibly say to a girl, because it is so incredibly offensive and insensitive, is say, like, if she's mad about something, genuinely mad, because she has points and she's bringing them up and she's genuinely mad about it, to say, oh, ha ha ha, are you on your period, is the absolute worst thing you could ever say. Because you just, like, told them their feelings are invalid, didn't even listen, and, basically said that you're an irrational human being because of this thing you can't control. So, and it's total bullshit. Like, PMS is probably not even a thing, and even if it is a thing, it's not making people go insane, and if you have a right to be mad, you are allowed to have those feelings. And just invalidating all those feelings is a really shitty thing to do. So, anyways, 2 cents, and, peace out, bitches.